This conference will now be recorded.
This is what an income statement looks like. Revenues less expenses gets us to a net income after taxes. That's the first statement we prepare. Then we prepared a statement of retained earnings. If we had net income, how much have we retained in the business? And that final statement is the balance sheet, where reflecting the accounting equation, our assets, total assets, are supposed to equal our liabilities plus our equity. And so these two numbers are supposed to be equal. So that's where we're going. Okay, that's where we're going. And we got a process that we're working through to get there. And that process is following the accounting cycle. What's step one in the accounting cycle?
Analysis of business what that is, transactions.
Okay, so we analyze each transaction. Every time there's a financial transaction, we analyze it. And then what's step two?
Make journal entries.
We make the journal entry. So that's what we did all last week. And on Friday, we went on to what? Steps 3 and 4. And what does steps 3 and 4 involve?
Post to ledger and the trial balance.
Posting to the ledger and preparing a trial balance. Posting to the ledger and preparing a trial balance. So you see right away, if you don't have step 1 and 2 right, then there's no way step 3 and 4 can be right. And so that's why we spent all the last week on step 1, because we don't have steps 1 and 2. We don't have that correct, then there's only going to be some garbage in here for steps 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. What's the purpose of step 3? What are we doing in step 3? What do we?
In step 3, we're taking the entries from our journal entry and we're posting it in order according to our chart of account sheet. And we're making sure that the numbers for the debit and credit are equal, basically, once we subtract them, like we're getting the total amounts, the equal amounts.
Okay, we're supposed to have them in an order now. When I looked at the 3 that were in, somebody was not in order. I said that you have to have them in the same order as that chart of account. And then we just add them up to make sure our debits equal our credits. So we're going to get to that, but we got to reveal a little bit for James, and we'll. When we make a journal entry, there's always a debit and a credit. And so what we said, we are working with, first of all, journal entries that involve the receipt of cash. Cash is always debited, another account is credited. We say we analyze transactions, see which type it is. If it's a type 1, we issue stock. We debit cash and credit common stock. On the other hand, if it's a situation where we had cash revenue, we're still debiting cash. So in these first 4 transactions that we're dealing with, 1, 2, 3, and 5, cash is coming into the business, cash is debited, and another account is credited depending on the type. If we pay out cash, we say we had 7 through 10. 8 students would be 7 through 11, where this is where cash is being spent. So whenever cash is being spent, we credit cash. and we're going to debit whatever asset that was purchased. If it's an asset, what liability that was paid, what expenses paid, what dividends were paid. And we said that for every transaction, there's a debit and a credit. The debit is what we receive. That's on the left side of the journal and the T account. The credit is what we gave up. That's on the right side. So that's how we look at it in double entry accounting from the standpoint in which we're running a business. Okay, so you're supposed to have copies of what? All of these transaction types. You're supposed to have a hard copy already made.
I have a question. Are you still going to give us the updated copy of that you're on right now, the transaction analysis? Because I remember you 20 and ours only have 18.
I'll get that to you. Okay, in just a couple of minutes. Now here's our chart of accounts, and we said that in our chart of accounts, we have these account numbers that we have to utilize. And you have to utilize an account in here, the right account, hopefully. And then we have the normal balance. What's the normal balance for cash? What's the normal balance for cash?
Debit.
100.
So the number is 100, and we normally expect it to have a debit balance. So what if it doesn't have a debit balance? It's kind of like you. What happens if your bank account has a credit balance in it rather than a debit balance?
A negative. It's supposed to track something.
You overspent. Okay, so, but you're supposed to have a hard copy, and I'm gonna get this updated on the journal entry types. You're supposed to have a hard copy of each one of these so you can very easily, work out journal entries. Okay, then we got this illustration in here of how to make journal entries. And we're posting to the ledger and preparing a trial balance. That's where we are. So what I want everyone to do, I want you to turn to the first quiz that's in, let's turn to that first quiz. I think that's 3A, correct? Okay. So I'm going to give you all 20 minutes to make these journal entries in 3A, post them to the ledger, and then do a trial balance. We'll come back and look at it. But this is something that you have to do. So Dominique, I'm going to give you a first teaching assignment.
I don't have that. I don't see that on my Blackboard.
You don't see,
yeah.
You don't see it on the assignments?
No, I see journal entry study problem, journal entry practice quiz, attendance quiz.
Disappeared, didn't it? That's right, it disappeared. So this is the one I want you all to work. I'll go back to it. But Dominique, I'm giving you your first teaching assignment.
What are you talking about?
I'm giving you your teaching assignment. See how you're going to work in teaching it. So what do you think your teaching assignment is going to be?
I don't know, because I'm not trying to be a teacher.
I tell you. Didn't we?
So what you want me to do? You want me to do the journal entries and the little trial balance stuff? that? Because I don't know. I'm confused.
I tell you, math, I guess sports is good though, but I was just trying.
Okay, let's see. What do you want
What?
me to do?
I want you to be a reference person for Christopher.
Okay.
This is his first
I can
day.
help.
So he'll send questions to you in the chat as he begins to work with this. And I'll work with him too, but we're trying to catch him up, and I can work with him, but it's also going to be helpful if you work with him from a student perspective. So
Okay.
let me go back to the screen. Okay, so this is, so everybody begin to look at these transactions. There are 12 journal entries. And as you look at these, try to get Blackboard up. See if you can pull up that journal entry quiz now and assignment. See if it's available now, the journal entry quizzes.
It is.
Okay, so with it available, you can now make the journal entries, post them to the ledger, and prepare the trial balance. So what we're going to do, okay, we're going to do the first two. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do the first two. Make these two journal entries, post them to the ledger. I want you to do the first two journal entries. So everybody should be able to pull this up so that I can see how we're coming on two journal entries. So can we do that? Okay, let's look at the first two. So we start off always with in the business where we invest cash. And that's a journal entry we all should make. What's our journal entry type?
1.
1.
So journal entry type is 1. So what do we debit in a 1?
You're gonna debit
Cash.
50,000.
To account 100, and we debit cash. Now, when I was just reviewing, somebody had cash, and it's going to be where? Right here in the debit column. And what's the amount?
50,000.
50,000.
Okay. So on this first transaction, where cash is coming into the business, it's a type 1. We debit cash. The debit is always on the top, and the debit is here. You should not have a credit to cash for this entry. Our credit is going to be to what account?
I messed up.
That 400?
Yes.
Now let's go and post this to the ledger, because we want to know how much is in each account. So for the cash, which is 50,000, we're going to put this 50,000 in here as a debit, just like it was in the journal entry. Then we're going to put our posting reference in so that if we have problems finding an error, we can find it. Then we're going to come to common stock, and we're going to put the 50,000 here on the credit side. Then we put in our posting reference, journal entry 1. So that's how we post a journal entry. If it's on the debit side in the journal, it's on the debit side in the T account. If it's on the credit side, and what we're trying to do is to find out how much is in each account. I'll do another one for you. Purchase inventory on account. We're purchasing inventory on account. So what type of transaction is that?
12.
That's going to be a 12. So what do we debit in a 12?
Inventory. Account 120.
Okay, so we're going to debit the asset purchase, which is inventory. So we're going to debit inventory. And what are we going to credit? For what's the amount?
100,000.
Then we're going to credit what?
Accounts payable.
What we're going to credit?
Accounts payable.
Okay, what number is that?
Account 301.
And that's account 301. We're going to have a credit here for 100,000. Now let's post this transaction. So we're going to go to inventory, and we're going to put it on the debit side because it was on the debit side in the journal entry. Then we're gonna go down to accounts payable about here, as we stay in order. And we're gonna have 100,000 where?
Accounts payable. Credit.
On the credit side. That's transaction 2. Is there any question from anybody on what we just did? Christopher? Beyonce?
I have a question.
Okay,
Where'd you get the accounts number from?
okay. In the chart of account, in course content is a listing of all of the accounts. So I've sent that to you already. So this chart of accounts is in course content and has all the numbers, okay? So what you need to do is to make a hard copy of this so you don't have to flip back and forth. And I'm gonna update the journal entry types. Any other questions? So this chart of accounts should be in your course content. Let me So your updated transaction taxes and course content now. Is anyone having any questions on what we're doing? Well, Christopher said he's not having questions. So since this is his first day, I know everybody else has this down. Okay. But we're gonna take our time with it. So we'll go over it, but I want you to work it first.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I have a Sandy's, Solandra, you have 4, Crystal 5, Leonce 6, Chris 7, James 7, Darius 8, should be Raquel 10, Sam 11, Dominic 12. I have
That's,
everybody.
is that a different one from the one we just did?
That is a different one, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Uh,
We're on quiz 3A.
Where's 3A at? But that can work for tomorrow anyway. Quiz 3A, where are you? . I don't know where that one came.
You're clicking on the one that says spring 2020. You need to click on the one that says summer 2021. You see it? It's 1, 2, 3. It's the third.
Is that what I'm doing?
Yes, it's the third one, not the first one.
X-ray. Okay. Okay, I think we have them assigned now. And what I want, trying to make sure that everybody is working with this and everybody can follow it through. So, Solandra, are you ready?
Do you want me to do the entry or do you want me to do both?
To do the entry and post it.
Okay.
Everybody see what they've been assigned. Solandra, then Beyonce, Chris, James, Darius, James, Roquel, Sam, Dominique, Crystal.
Okay.
So what
Number 3 says borrowed 150,000 from a king.
was out type?
Type number 5. We're
What
gonna
you did?
we're gonna we're gonna debit 150. We're gonna debit cash 150,000. I mean 150,000, and we're gonna credit notes payable. And the account number is 350. And the other account number is cash.
What's the account number for cash?
350. Oh, 100.
All right, go ahead and post that for me.
So the one 100 and okay. 150 we're gonna debit.
Account,
Huh?
put our reference in here. This is transaction 3. What else we gonna do? We might need to create us a notes payable account, right? And what are we gonna do with this notes payable account given that we created it? Isn't that the other journal entry? I mean, account? So what are we gonna do? We're gonna do Landra
Oh, we're gonna put on a payable
on what side? Debit or credit?
debit.
No. It's on the credit side in this journal entry. So it's gotta come on the credit side in the T account.
What you mean it's on the credit side in the journal entry?
A good question. Debits, the journal entry, credit side of the journal entry.
Okay.
So if it's on that debit side in this journal, it goes on the debit side in the account. If it's on the credit side, it goes on the credit side.
But aren't they on both sides?
You have one account cash is on the debit side.
Mm-hmm.
You have another account notes payables on the credit side. One debit, one credit. So when we go in here then, the cash on transaction 3, a debit of 150, you always got to have a balancing credit of 150. Kind of got it now?
You're saying if both sides have debit and credit, but you put credit. Okay.
No. Let's go back up here. We have journal entry with two accounts. We have cash. It has an amount on the debit side. There's notes payable, an amount on the credit side. So there are two accounts. Okay, two accounts. We look at the first account, cash. We debited for $150. All we're gonna do is go down here to cash, put $150 on the debit side. Then
Oh,
notes payable,
okay. We're putting either debit credit depending on the account.
correct.
Okay.
All right, so you got it now?
Yes, I do.
All right, so. I had Jane down here twice. So I'm gonna put you down here again. Okay. So you practice up again. Fiance, are you ready?
I mean, yes and no. I can try it.
Yeah, I mean that's the only way you're gonna learn is to try it. What was
Exactly.
your transaction? You did what?
The transaction is cash.
Well, what did you do? You paid dividends, right?
Yes.
So what type is that?
That type would be. Let me see. Hold on. The type. Um. Type 4. Cause the question 4. I don't know.
Well, that's question for him. Well, not the type.
Yeah. I don't
Let's see.
know. Let me see. Cause hold on.
You got this right. Did you make your copy of this like I said?
I mean, I have it on PDF. You like on the computer.
Man, see, you being hard here. I tried to make sure y'all could pass the class when I tell you to copy something. There's a good reason. I didn't tell you to copy much, but you
I
need it so
know.
you
Mm-hmm.
can go straight to it.
Yeah.
So let's look at it. When
Okay.
cash comes in, it's a 1 through 6, okay? But we were
Okay.
paying cash out. So you got to be 7 through 11. You pay the dividend. So which one of these is it?
It's cash. 10.
It's 10. So in a 10,
Mm-hmm.
what do we debit?
10,000.
I mean, what account?
Oh, what account? Debit.
Dividends. And what do
Dividends.
we?
Cash.
Okay, so see that? Count debited, count credited.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when we get to our transaction, number 4, we're going to say our type is a 10.
Okay.
And on a 10, we debit their what? Dividend.
Yes. Dividends.
And what's the account number?
The account number is
Dividends.
the account number is 455.
Okay. And what's our amount?
10,000.
And we crediting what?
Cash.
Also for what? 10,000.
10,000.
Now let's post it. Are you ready to post it?
I guess.
Let's
Let's
post the
see.
debit with the dividend first. So we're
Okay.
gonna go to accounts, dividends. And in the order, dividends is gonna come after common stocks. I'm gonna put it right here. So we keep them in the order of that chart of accounts.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put what? A debit here, what?
Debit 10,000.
And so that we can keep track of it, we're gonna put the journal entry number down. What journal entry number was it?
4.
4. Okay. Now let's finish it up. What else we gonna do?
You have to put the credit.
That's correct. Where we gonna put it at?
Cash.
So we're gonna go to the cash account, put it on the credit side, 10,000.
Then put the transaction number.
Yep, that's all it is. Now, that's not that bad, is it?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
That's all
I could do it.
good. Okay, let's go on to number 5. Chris, think you ready.
All right. So it's gonna be, hold on, go to it.
We need a type.
Yeah, paid sales salaries expense of 80,000. So that's expense paid.
Okay, so our type is what?
Oh, the payment of expense, so number 9.
It's a 9. So the first thing we're gonna do is, once we put our journal entry number in for 5, we're gonna go over here and say the type is 9. Okay. Now in a 9, it says what?
Expense paid is debit.
We credit cash.
Right.
But what we got to do is to go to the actual expense that we paid. Okay. We paid with salaries, right? So we go to our chart of account and find salaries. And we'll just make it sales salaries, 610. So you can't say expense paid, you got to come over here and find the actual expense. And so just say it says pay sales salaries. So you don't say expense paid, you say sales salaries, 610. So we're going to sales salaries. And the amount is what?
80,000.
And what we're going to credit?
Cash.
Okay, so what's our cash account number?
100.
100. Now, let's see if we can post this to the ledger. You ready to post it?
Sure.
Okay, so we post this to the ledger. Let's post the debit first. So we're going to stay in order. So we got to put our accounts in, whatever they are. So sales salaries. So what side we're going to put it on?
The debit.
The debit side. And this is journal entry what?
5.
And what else we going to do?
You're gonna credit cash.
Okay. That was 80,000, correct?
Correct.
And then we're putting in our journal entry number so that we have an error we can go back. So what we're doing at this point is we're trying to see how much cash we have after these transactions. So if we stopped at transaction 5, how much cash will we have? If we stop at transaction 5, how much cash will we have? That's anybody. If we stopped at transaction 5, how much cash will we have?
110,000.
Yeah, what he said.
Okay, 110. We add the debits, we add the credits, and we're going to take the difference. So our debits 200, credits 90. And so that tells us that we would have at this point 110,000 in cash. So that's what we're trying to do. How much we got in the account? Any questions on that by anyone? Okay, who's next? James, what do we do?
It's a type 9.
So we're paying an expense, so that's a type 9. So when we get to number 6, it's going to be a type 9. What expense did we pay?
Repairs and maintenance.
What's the account number?
685.
And what's the amount?
5,000.
And what are we going to credit?
Cash. Account number 100.
And now let's post it. So we post the debit first. We just put repairs and maintenance here. So what we're going to do here?
Debit 5,000.
What's our journal entry number?
7.
And what else are we going to do?
You're gonna credit cash 5,000.
Journal's just 6.
Oh, my fault. 6. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, Darius, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, so
I have cash account 100.
what's my type?
Type is going to be 2.
So this is a type 2. So we're going to get cash in a type 2.
Yes. For 200,000.
And this is account 100.
Sir,
What we're gonna credit?
500 sales. $200,000 as well.
And can you post that?
Yes. Going to put 200,000 in our debit.
Cash, I hope.
Yes. And we're going to credit 200,000 in sales.
Sales.
Yes.
Any questions? Okay, 8. You ready, Zalandra?
I'm going again.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Is it type 3? Okay, let me read the question.
Yeah, read it.
Car rental revenue earned from corporate customers on account. So I think it's type 3.
No. You don't have any cash.
Type 15.
Type 15.
Okay.
What are you debiting a 15?
Accounts receivable. So that means, okay, let me go to my, and we're gonna credit sales.
So that's gonna
And
be
the account number is 110.
500 and 110.
Yes.
And what's our amount?
I think it was 100,000.
120, wasn't it?
120.
You ready to post it?
Yes.
So we typically post the debit first, then the credit. So I already got account receivable set up here, right?
Right. So we're gonna debit the 120,000 type 15.
No, which number? Which journal entry number?
15.
No, I mean not type. We were on number 8, weren't we? Transaction.
The number 8. I'm sorry.
So we just want to be able to get in here and find it if there's a problem. And what you gonna credit?
120,000.
To what account?
Credit.
Yeah, what account?
Accounts receivable.
We already debited for 120. We got to credit another account.
Is it sales?
Sales.
I thought you was putting the type entry on the number in parentheses, but you're just like numbering the question.
We number the questions so that if we have a problem, we can find out. Because remember, you got to balance these eventually.
Okay.
If you got an error, doing this posting will help you find it. Because when you do the exam, I'm going to be expecting you to be able to make sure you're in balance. That's number 8. Number 9, Raquel, are we ready?
Yes, Raquel, I'm ready. Okay, let me go to mine. Okay, so 301 will be the account number
Give me a
for
type.
account. Will be type 8.
Liability, right?
Yes, type 8. And 301 will be the account number for account payable.
Okay.
50,000 will be for debit. Will be 100 cash. And credit will be 50,000.
Can we post it?
Yes. So we'll find account payable. And that will be debit for 50,000.
Number?
9.
That the one we own too? And what else we gonna do?
And we'll find cash, and it'll be for credit 50,000 for number 9.
Okay, moving right along. Sam,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so what's happening? 10, collecting this cash. What type is that?
Okay, so we're doing so cash 100.
What's our type?
We are a type 3.
3. What are you debiting on a type 3?
We're debiting account receivable.
I think so.
We're debiting cash.
So it should be debiting cash and crediting what?
Account receivable.
What's our amount?
75,000.
Can you post this?
Sorry.
Can you post it?
Yeah.
So how you gonna post it?
So you go down and you're gonna put in, you have for account receivables and under credits. And that is number 10.
So 75,000.
Yes.
And what else you gonna do?
And on your left, you have cash, so you're gonna debit 75,000 for cash.
Okay, so number 11
Got 2
says,
more to go. So what do
Yeah.
it have, Dominique?
number 11 says pay on no payable $10,000 on the principal plus interest of 5,000. My first type will be type 8. With type 8, I will debit account number 350 for notes payable in the amount of $10,000. And then I will credit account number 100 for cash in the amount $10,000. And then, oh, you still writing? Okay, my bad.
Okay, so When you
Um,
pay this bill, when you pay on your student loan, when you pay on your cash, when you pay on your car, how many checks do you write?
I'm gonna write 2, but I'm not on it yet. I ain't got to that.
Pay bills, you write 2 checks?
I mean, I'm gonna write 1 for that one, but then with my interest expense, I'm gonna write them. I'm gonna pay them again.
Because suppose they say they just want 1 check.
But that wasn't the question, though, sir. Come on, let me finish the question.
Let's go back up here. The question says you paid on the note payable 10,000
Mm-hmm.
plus interest of 5,000.
Yeah,
So how much did you pay on total?
15,000.
Right. And so you wrote 1 check for 15,000.
Okay. Why you skip the?
So we paid the note payable, that was 10,000, right? And you said that
Yes.
was a type what? 8, right?
And then type 9 is the interest expense for $5,000.
Mhm.
I was getting to that. You ain't let me say all that. Mhm.
No, you were doing 2 transactions. What's our account number for interest expense?
680.
Okay. So can we post these?
Yep. What are you doing, Ghost?
Okay, so we'll put the credit in here first since we're at cash.
Yes, I credited 15,000 for number 11. And then I went to notes payable and I debited $10,000 for number 11 in notes payable. And then I went down past salary sales expense and I created another thing for interest expense and I debited 5,000 for number 11 in that one.
So this is 10,000 here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't have an interest expense account, so you put one in here.
Yes, but it have to be after the sales salaries expense. And it's before repairs and maintenance, so you might have to move that. I don't know.
But we know we'd be in that order. I didn't skip a line for it, so. But so we should have we should have removed repairs and maintenance over. So now we got them in order like we want them. So you have to kind of go through and see what accounts are involved and leave space so you do stay in order. That would be very important when we get to our next step. What's our final one, Crystal?
Okay, hold on, let me read it. Number 12 says purchase land for $400,000, paying $100,000 down, and sign the note for the balance. So that's type 7 and 12. And I'm going to debit $400,000 of land, which is account number 200. And then credit $100,000 cash, which is account 100, number 100, and then also debit notes payable for $300,000, which is account number 350.
I hope you're gonna credit it.
I said that.
What's land?
What happened?
You said debit, but that's okay.
No, I did not.
You did not, okay. What's the account number for land?
200,
What's the account number for cash?
100,
What's the account number for notes payable?
350,
So we're gonna debit land for how much?
400,000.
400.
Yes,
Crediting cash for what?
100,000.
What type is this?
7 and 12.
Then 12 for the note. So two things happening. We buy the
Mm-hmm.
land for 400. We're paying 100 in cash, type 12, 300. We borrowing a note to pay for it. So we create a liability.
Mm-hmm.
Post these?
Yes. So land, you have to create one for land, I think.
Yep.
And it's gonna be on the debit side, $400,000.
And what else we gonna do?
And then you're gonna go back up to cash and go to the credit side with $100,000.
This is transaction 12, wasn't it?
Yes. And then go to notes payable and credit $300,000.
So what's our next step?
Go to the trial balance sheet. Well, add and subtract first. Add up the thing, find the difference.
Okay, so we want to get one balance in cash, receivables, inventory. We want one balance. So let's do account receivable for everybody. Then I'm gonna let you all, everybody do the rest. So we do account receivable, we have a debit of 120 and we have a credit of 75. So we take the difference, how much is it?
45,000.
We're gonna put that in red. So when we come to the trial balance, gotta stay in order. It's gonna be cash, then account receivable, and we said it's 45,000, correct?
Yes.
And what's our next account gonna be in here?
Inventory.
Inventory. So what I want everybody to do now is to go through, put each one of these accounts in the trial balance with their balance: cash, receivables, inventory, land, account payable, note payable, common stock, dividends, sales, salaries, interest expense, repairs, and maintenance. I want you to get the balance in each of those accounts, put them in this trial balance, and give me a total that's equal. So you're gonna come up with your totals. And when you get your totals, They gotta be the same on both sides. The debits must equal the credits. Does everybody understand what we're doing? Does everyone understand what they're supposed to be doing?
Yes, sir.
Dominique, you finished?
Yes. But only because I thought that was the assignment that you told us to do earlier when we first got on.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't want you to get bored. So you go ahead and prepare my income statement.
I'm fine. I'm not bored. I'm perfectly fine right here.
So you see what you got to do for your next exam coming up, right?
Our next exam will be like this one, like this that we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Probably on Wednesday.
After interest expense is repairs and maintenance. We wrote that on the same.
How we coming? So Chris, how much cash we got? That's the first account.
Cash, we got 215,000.
All right. How much inventory we got, Crystal?
My bad. What happened?
How much inventory?
Like overall, or well, anyways, it's 100,000. I think, anyways. Let me see. Yeah, right, 100,000.
Darius, how much land?
$400,000.
Sam, how much in notes payable? Or accounts payable?
My work is incomplete.
Roquel, how much you have in accounts payable? Okay.
100,000. Is that correct? I'm
Right.
reviewing mine. I'm not sure that's the right answer.
I got 50,000 in accounts payable.
Okay, I could be wrong because I'm reviewing mine now.
You had a
Because
debit and
number 9 was debited 50,000, and then number 2 was credited 100,000.
Okay.
so that should be 50,000. So notice that the cash, receivables, inventory, land, they're all debits. Only one number, the balance, is a debit. Accounts payable is 50. What's notes payable?
I credited 440,000, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll take your word for it. Common stock,
Common stock got debited 50,000.
I hope you didn't debit 50,000.
I mean credited 50,000. I'm
Credited.
sorry.
Dividends,
Okay.
Debited 10,000.
sales,
Crediting 320,000.
sales salaries,
Debiting 80,000.
interest expense,
Debiting 5,000.
and repairs and maintenance.
Debiting 5,000.
So we've determined how much in each account, and we've done everything correct, then the debits and credits will be equal. So what's our total debits?
860,000.
100,000.
What's our total credits?
860,000.
How are we looking? Everybody do that count of now. Okay, so you see where we are. You see what you got to do. Make a journal entries, post to the ledger, and do your trial balance. There's an in-class problem that's an assignment. That's your homework. Do the homework and have it to me by class tomorrow. Then we'll work another problem in class tomorrow to make sure everybody can do this. For my 8 students, you all should be going on to those 40 journal entries, posting them to the ledger and doing a trial balance. So that's your next step with those 40 journal entries. Post them to the ledger and do a trial balance.
You want us to do it inside of that Excel sheet, or you want us to do it on the Word document?
On the Excel.
Okay.
So that gives you that extra practice you need so that you'll be all set. And you're supposed to also have what? The name of your company and your bylaws and your
And that's
organization
the beginning
structure.
of the book, correct?
So what?
You get that information from the beginning of the book, the text?
Right. And you go online and get it.
You said go online?
Yeah. You're supposed to have your articles of incorporation. So it's as if you're running a business. So you're going to have a name for your business. You're going to have articles of incorporation. You're going to have stock certificates, since you're the only owner, showing that you put your money in and it's represented by those stock certificates. So you need to have all of that ready for me. So when can you have all of that ready for me?
End of the summer.
In the what?
I'm confused. What?
Is that like a final thing we have to do?
No, but why do we have to do this anyways?
We'll talk about it tomorrow. Since y'all, I guess we'll have to meet every Friday, Crystal, since y'all slow it down. So I was.
We're not slowing down. It's okay.
Y'all not slow it down?
This was actually due. This is supposed to be due on this Friday. What you
Correct.
talking about? I remember you was like next week at the end of the week. So
Well, some people say end of the semester, end of the summer term.
they just playing.
Oh, they just playing?
Yeah, they just playing.
You already got
really,
you already
honestly,
have all 40 journal entries.
I just don't think we understand, like, one, like the purpose, and like two, like what you really like. It sound like a little children's project. That's why like I'm confused about like how to do it or like how serious. I don't know.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why you want us to go try to create a business. Like, why do we have to do all of that for an accounting class, basically, when we don't want to be business? Some of us don't want to be business owners, I guess you could say.
Well, it's to get you thinking from the standpoint of, I'm not a consumer now. I don't care what you're doing. I'm working in a business context, and that's separate from what I do. Now, what I'm talking about is no more than an hour's worth of work, so maybe you're thinking there's a lot of work. You just put in some things. You can put it. You can create a name for your company, right? Can you create a name for your company? How long would that take you?
Honestly, I don't know, because I've never tried to make a business, so I don't even know what steps.
The name of it.
So where do we put the name? Like, where are we putting this? Like, how do we turn this in? I don't understand.
Can you upload like an example of this Blackboard?
Or the steps or something.
All right.
We ain't trying to give you a hard time, we swear.
I see. That's all right. That's why.
Are we done? Cause I have class.
Okay, well, we're done. I was just trying, let's see, state of Texas. I'll put some things in, but I don't have it live, but it's just you just sort of put the stuff in, and it's not for some reason not. I'll get some stuff together on that. That's not a major deal, okay? That's not. I'll work on that a little bit tomorrow. That's not meant to be a major item. The main thing is getting the journal entries done, okay? That's the main thing, in getting your other stuff done. That's just extra. Okay, I'll work on something like that for you tomorrow. But that's not meant to be a major deal. So I'll template it out and have it there ready. If you see your homework and everybody get this homework done and ready into me by 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock on tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
If everybody don't have it, Crystal will have to meet on Friday. So if everybody got it.
Please turn in y'all homework.
Okay, see you in the morning.
Okay.
All tomorrow at 10. And so we'll have some things. And the other part won't be a major thing. I'll look at something. We'll go from there. So everybody have a good rest of your day. And we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.